Welcome to ONNPoint. I'm Andy Martins. Thank you for being here for another edition, a blockbuster edition. I've been in this community for over 30 years. Never have I seen two community leaders on the same show. We're about to put an end to that. Coming up, the Mayor of Sault Ste. Marie, Christian Provenzano, right after these messages.
He fell.
Whoa, I'm not driving. I'm way too stoned. How are you feeling, Beer?
Oh, since we had that talk, I'm not driving tonight at all.
What about you, Dave?
You only had a couple of drinks.
And only a couple of puffs.
I don't drink and drive. No way I'm getting behind the wheel when I smoked weed, too.
How are we getting home, then?
Oh, you can drive, Dave.
Come on, Dave.
Take one for the team, buddy.
Don't let weed and alcohol influence your decision to drive.
Yeah, I need a ride.
I am a mother, and I am a sister,
I'm a father.
A wife, a daughter,
I'm Somali lady,
I can very proudly say that
I'm a teacher.
a social worker.
I'm a human being.
I have a dream to be free.
and I wish we live in the world full of peace.
Adoptions create families. Are you thinking of adopting a child from an orphanage or your family in India, Bangladesh, Jamaica, Guyana, or any other country? Let Worldview Adoption, a government-licensed agency with 15 years of experience, help. Parmjeet Mongat and Associates are experienced in handling all adoptions cases, especially relative adoptions with complex immigration issues. For a relative or orphan adoption, domestic or international, call Worldview Adoption for a consultation today.
Every kid knows the power of a wish. That's why I'm here for Make-A-Wish, to help you find money you can donate. All dads have change in their pockets, and all you need to get it is a rope, an umbrella, and 3 friends in grade 8. He's like a piñata of money. If I can find ways to raise money to grant a kid's wish, you can too.
Welcome back to ONNPoint. If I'm a little bit more excited than usual, it's because we're making history. I'm 2 community leaders on the same show. And I'd like to bring in the Mayor of Sault Ste. Marie, Christian Provenzano. Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor, for taking time of your busy day to come on our show.
Well, thanks for having me, Andy. We appreciate the opportunity to come here and speak with you.
No problem. We'll start with this. The Northern Business Awards are in 10 days. If you'd like to let our viewers know, and that's important, another win for Sault Ste. Marie.
Well, we're looking forward to it. So we're going to have the Northern Business Awards in Sault Ste. Marie next week, and they rotate amongst different cities in Northern Ontario. And this year was our turn, so we're excited to have everybody. We're going to have a really great event here. We're going to celebrate businesses from across Northern Ontario who will be traveling to Sault Ste. Marie. And I should note at the same time, the Northern Policy Institute's also in Sault Ste. Marie to have its annual conference. So it'll be a fun couple days in Sault Ste. Marie next week, and we'll really focus on and celebrate not only our local businesses, but some of the businesses from across the region who are doing great things.
And this is really important for the city to have these events. It really is, isn't it? You know.
Yeah, well, look, I think it's important that Northern Ontario at all times comes together and sticks together, and we try and do that. We try and do that through our different organizations in lobbying groups like FONOM and NOLM. But it's also good that we come together, not just politically, but we come together to celebrate our entrepreneurial and private sector success. So it's important that we do it, and I'm happy to be a host here in Sault Ste. Marie. And I think we'll have a great event, and we'll show everybody all the things we're proud of in our city. You know, we have a very hospitable city, we're a very welcoming community, and we'll have everybody here, and I'm sure they'll have a great time, and I'm sure they'll enjoy their time in Sault Ste. Marie.
Awesome. Another important date I wanted to let the viewers know is the Mayor's Town Hall on October 3rd. Can you let our viewers know what's going to happen at the Bush Plain that evening?
Sure, happy to do that, Andy. So what happened this year was that, as everybody's aware, annually when we do our budget, we always try and get some community consultation. So we have these town hall meetings where we go out and we show people the budget numbers and we ask them for input and feedback. But the reality is that's not really been very effective. We might have 5 or 10 people show up to one of these town halls. So city staff essentially got together and said, what can we do to make this more meaningful and make this more substantive and really try and engage more people? So they came up with a really great idea, I think. We hope it's effective, and we're going to try it this year for the first time. And what we're doing is we've taken the bush plane, and we're operating throughout the bush plane, and we're going to bring city staff and all the departments to the bush plane, and we're going to do a number of presentations. So we're not just going to open up a town hall and show everybody the budget numbers and say, what do you think? We're going to bring everybody to the same place, give everybody the chance to come to the same place, and we're going to have all of our senior staff available that can answer questions about their operations. And then we're going to show people what we're doing, what's been happening, what's going to be happening, and then we're going to solicit feedback. So really, it's an idea that city staff came up with, and it's a way just to try and engage the community in a more sincere, substantive way so we get better feedback throughout our budgeting process. And I think it's a really good idea, and I'm happy to support it. And part of the night would be me giving a speech about what we've been doing, what's happening in the city and where the city is looking to go. And we hope people are interested. We hope people come out. They'll have chances to ask questions, not only of me, but of all of the senior city staff who will be there. So we'll have every city department available, and we'll have all of the senior staff responsible for those departments available to answer any questions people have.
And it's really timely, isn't it, the tremendous results you've gotten in the last year to have people find out how the city and how you got there and all the questions they can have, they can ask, kind of thing.
Yeah, look, and yeah, I appreciate that comment. I think one of the things that I need to recognize is that there's been a tremendous amount of really good work over the last 4 years by people across the community. And I'm just one of the people making a contribution to that. But we have a number of people in our community working really hard for the betterment of the community. And I think, we've come through a challenging period. And, there are brighter days ahead, and we're starting to see some really positive and productive results from the work that we did over the last few years. And that's one of the things about governance and politics is, you got to work hard for a period of time to see those results. And I feel very grateful to have the opportunity to serve the community again. I feel really grateful to see through and make sure some of the things that we worked on in the first 4 years are coming to pass. And I think what you're seeing now is just some really great results from some really hard work. And I'm one of the people working hard, but I'm only one of the people working hard. There are a tremendous number of people across this community working hard. There are great people at City Hall working hard, and we have a good team that's really focused on the future of our community and focused on making sure that we go in the right direction.
Awesome. You had a vision in 2017. A lot of this groundwork was being done. Are you satisfied where we sit in September of 2019 with the work that's been done to date, Future Sault Ste. Marie and all of it? It really has come out shining.
So, yeah, look, I'm satisfied, but I'm satisfied because I recognize that there's good things have happened, but there's more hard work to do, and we're going to do it. There are a number of great people that are working hard across the community. I want to recognize the good people at the college that are making a significant contribution to our community, the good people at the university that are making a significant contribution to our community. But you also mentioned Future Sault Ste. Marie, so there's a group of people in City Hall that are focused on the future of our community, and you're seeing some really good results from their activities. But the reality is, Andy, what we did over the last term, in amidst the difficulty we were having economically here, is we came together as a community and we set some goals. And what you're seeing now is people working in alignment with each other, trying to achieve specific goals. And when you align people and you have specific goals, you see results, and that's what you're seeing. So I'm satisfied, but the job's not done yet. So I'll be really satisfied when we get farther down the path and we achieve more of our goals. But you've seen some positive things happening. You're going to see some more positive things happening. You've seen some really really great activity in the community, and you're going to see some more. We have some more exciting projects on the horizon. Like the Plaza project that we introduced at the last council meeting has been tremendously well received throughout the community, but now we have to make that happen. And we have some other developments that we'll be introducing to the community in the near term, and we expect they'll be just as well received.
Because, there's a lot more work to do. And a year ago on election night, you said you had more work to do in the next 4 years. And that's come to fruition year one. And you had a vision. And in 2020, I guess you've got some plans, but can you sort of on a high level let us know what some of the objectives are going to be in 2020?
Well, look, they're accessible and everybody can see them because we wrote them all down. So if you take our future Sault Ste. Marie documentation, if you take our community plan, those are essentially the milestones we're working towards. So we have a community development roundtable. We have a number of action teams. You're going to see some really good development continue in the downtown. I got a positive comment when I left the office today about how good Queen Street looks. Bay Street's going to be nearing completion in the near term, and then we have a plan for Queen Street. We are talking about some activity on Spring Street. We have the Plaza project, but there's other things we're looking at across the community, and we have to work with our community partners, the hospital, the college, and the university, to help them realize their goals so we can move forward as a community. So we're focused on some of those broader projects, and we'll continue to work together with our community partners on those projects, and we'll continue just to focus on actioning our community plan. So we did a lot of work to get to where we are today, and really what we're doing now is implementing. So we got to keep on implementing, and council has to keep on making good decisions, and council has to keep on making good investments in order to realize the goals that we set for ourselves.
Just on that note, Mr. Mayor, can you let our viewers know the deadline, the completion of Bay Street as we see it right now? Do we have a date, or it's still not decided quite when that will be completed?
I don't have a date off the top of my head, but Bay Street will be largely complete by the end of this construction season.
As long as they'll go as like when the snow flies, they'll be 85% done.
Yeah, we should be largely complete. Yeah, it's coming along really well, and they're making quite a bit of progress.
Let's talk about the provincial government downloading into 2020 and the ONNP grant. A lot of people are concerned that you want to start the budget deliberations before the end of the 2019. How much of a problem will these unknown variables present to the mayor and council?
Well, look, I think it's important that we budget in the fall, late fall for the next year. The way we did it when I became the mayor is we budgeted near the end of the first quarter. So we passed our budget in March or April. Well, we were 3 or 4 months through the year at that point, and the year's already pretty much, the cast is dying the year. So I think it's really important that we set a budget prior to the year starting so we can have more of an influence as a council. But look, there's always unknowns in government, and there's some concerns about kind of the stability of our provincial funds, but we just have to continue to work with the provincial government to make the case that it's important to consistently fund municipalities. But the reality of municipal funding is that most of our funding comes from property taxes. And if you look at actually what we receive from the provincial government gives Sault Ste. Marie funding through the ONPF program in the neighborhood of approximately $15.5 million. But the provincial government also takes about $17.5 million from the municipal tax base to fund provincial programs. So really, in the end, we pay more to provincial programs than we receive from the province. And that's not new to this government. I mean, that's been the case for a number of years now. And the reality is it makes it more difficult for municipalities to actually meet their own priorities because funds from our tax base are going to meet provincial priorities. And that's something that has to be addressed right across the province.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, for coming in today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Andy. Thanks for having me on, and thanks to everybody up here for being such a great crew.
All right, that's Sault Ste. Marie Mayor Christian Provenzano. We'll be right back with Liberal candidate Terry Sheehan right after these commercial messages.
Housed in a 15,000 square foot custom manufacturing facility built to produce world-class cabinetry at surprisingly affordable prices, Great Lakes Fine Cabinetry brings your project from initial concept to final design. Proudly providing Northern Michigan and the Algoma region with quality hand-built cabinetry for the past 20 years. Located at 844 East 3 Mile Road, Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan, Great Lakes Fine Cabinetry, making your cabinetry dreams come true. With over 45 years of experience, All Ontario Well Drilling offers hydrofracking and all well drilling services. Call 705-575-8088 or 705-257-9495.
Since 1899, the Machine Shop has been a unique space for innovation and creativity. Once a leading pulp and paper company, the Machine Shop was built by Francis H. Clerg, which later became part of St. Mary's Paper in 1984. After the closure of St. Mary's Paper in 2011, the Machine Shop spent 4 years vacant. In 2015, the Machine Shop reopened their doors to the community for the first time. From weddings to galas to concerts and festivals, the one-of-a-kind venue has something for everyone. We are proud to work with the community and local nonprofits to host major events such as Festival of Trees, Pearls and Plaid, an evening at Hogwarts, and more. While you're here, wind down at the Mill Steakhouse and Wine Bar for a quiet dining experience, or watch a game and try a wood fire oven pizza and local draft at the Boiler Room. Don't forget to save room for house-made gelato and baked goods at the Gelato Mill. For more information on the Machine Shop events, history, and restaurants, visit machineshopinc.ca. 3 great places, 1 historic venue.
At 4:45, discover all kinds of treasures and never pay more than $5. Inventory is restocked every Saturday, and you can find anything from electronics to household items, toys, and much, much more. On Saturday, everything is $5 and the price goes down throughout the week, ending with 25 cents on Friday. We restock weekly with new items from various big box stores, so you never know what treasures you can find. Come visit us at 4:45, 2510 Ashman Street in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan.
Welcome back to ONNPoint. I'm Andy Martins. On this blockbuster edition of ONNPoint, I'm so thrilled to talk to 2 of our community leaders, 2 gentlemen that have had a big part to play in this community of Sault Ste. Marie. You just heard the mayor of Sault Ste. Marie, and now we have the Liberal candidate. Because we're in the middle of an election, he's still the MP. Well, officially he's not until October 21st. Terry Sheehan, welcome to the show, my friend.
Andy, great to be here as always, and it's a great day today.
It is. It's a great day, and the election is on. But my friend, you have done so much for this community. Let's start with the announcement at the airport about a week and a half ago or so. It was another tremendous announcement.
Well, thank you, Andy. That's a really important announcement, creating the infrastructure at the airport. You know, throughout my term, since 2016, we've had a number of announcements for the airport. We've seen the growth with both Porter, Air Canada, Bearskin, and many other providers coming here. JD Aero, which provides airplane maintenance here in the Soo. They've grown from 6 employees to about 130 now. So the announcement that we made is going to support those jobs. It'll support the Soo College Aviation Program for further growth. And one of our segments, we had talked about some of the investments we'd made at Soo College, including the aviation program. So that's going to support the growth of those particular programs. But the Airport Corporation has 2 new clients that as part of the deal to come here is they wanted to see that infrastructure. So I'm pleased that that infrastructure is going to support the creation of 100 new jobs. And they're telling me that they're going to be going after even more and more jobs going forward because of the infrastructure that we have invested in the airport.
Right. And the Prime Minister's been here a couple times in the last little while. He knows how important Sault Ste. Marie is to the province and to the country, that this, things are happening in a great way here. And you guys have done that over the last 4 years.
Well, thank you, Andy. Yes, I was at the gates this morning at Woma Steel, and bright and early with the coffees, and the steelworkers were coming over to chat with us, and the message is going to continue. We've got your backs. We got the Trump tariffs lifted. We've invested $106 million in Algoma Steel and Tenaris. We've strengthened our trade regime over and over again, consecutively, year after year. Meanwhile, the Conservatives, they, it was Aaron O'Toole who called our counter tariffs that worked. We won, called them dumb, and they wanted us to repeal them, throw up the white flag. And that's something that we did not do. And working with Chrystia Freeland, who has been in Sault Ste. Marie, and the Prime Minister, we were able to achieve that goal. But we're still not out of the woods yet. We have to continue to work with the steel industry, with the unions, with stakeholders, community stakeholders, with mayors, council, to make sure that we continue to stabilize and grow the industry for the future.
You were there with Minister Freeland and with the Prime Minister. How important was it that the steel tariffs, they went on too long, and did you ever have a doubt that maybe these things won't even be lifted?
Well, the 232 tariff that the Americans employed, I was pleased to see that Canada was able to get them lifted. We know that tariffs still exist, American tariffs on various other countries, on different products, but we were able to get them lifted for the steel industry and the aluminum industry. The steel industry just by itself in Canada is 123,000 direct and indirect jobs, and I'm proud to be the co-chair of the All-Party Steel Caucus, and we were very active down in Washington, in Ottawa, and in the Sioux, working as Team Canada to get those tariffs lifted. So I was pleased to see that. Our counter tariffs worked. We were dollar for dollar, not only on steel and aluminum, but also on a variety of other products that were selected for a variety of reasons. You know, I always get the question, why the pickles? And it just so happens that one of the politicians in the United States had a pickle factory in his riding, and was a champion of the tariffs on steel and aluminum. But I tell you, the tunes changed when we punched back, you know, quite frankly, above our weight. And Canadians are good at that. You know, never mess with a Canadian internationally. We are very strong, we're very polite, but we certainly, you know, hold our own.
Are you concerned, Terry, about the USMCA? Congress and the Senate and the House of Representatives are dragging their feet in approving it. Should it have been done by now in the U.S.?
Well, what our message was to our American friends, our politicians, both Republicans and Democrats, when we were down in Washington, was that although we have an agreement in principle with the North American Free Trade Agreement, we will not ratify it unless you lift those tariffs. And we told them that they were running out of runway because our election was coming. They were rising for the summer. We were rising for the summer. So that's going to be between Nancy Pelosi and President Trump to figure out a way forward. But certainly we were not going to ratify it with the steel tariffs in place.
Right. You had a lot of congressmen and senators on board going to bat for you as well at the time.
You're absolutely right, Andy. It's all about relationship building, and you're really good at it. You know, you've got to make those calls, you've got to send those emails, you got to get in their face, and you got to be talking to them constantly. The United States is a giant country. They have a number of issues that they're dealing with daily, but we made sure to make Sault Ste. Marie, the steel industry in Canada, a continued priority so that those politicians were hearing from us continually and constantly, and it worked. And, you know, they're very kind people. We share the longest undefended border, so it did not make sense that we had those unjust tariffs. And while conservatives were saying, well, why don't we just raise the white flag and remove our counter tariffs? We said, no, that's wrong, because we could see it working. And
that's right.
They continued to work well into the, you know, to the future, to today. But we also put in place the $2 billion in aid for the steel industry, and that's what both the workers and the industry were able to access nationally, but also here in Sault Ste. Marie with that $106 million investment, which is going to protect and create jobs, and also you know, help modernize our steelmaking facilities.
I agree with you totally. The counter tariffs was a brilliant decision on the Prime Minister's part to do that, because the result may have been different had that not been done.
Well, absolutely. And one of the things that we have to always remind ourselves is that we need to continue to make sure that we have a good relationship with the United States. I mean, Algoma Steel is a perfect example. 60% of its product is being exported to the United States. But it also reminds us that we need to diversify our economy and also to diversify our trade portfolio and look at new markets around the world. We have the new European trade agreement, you know, and we have the new Asian trade agreements as well. So there's a lot of opportunities in markets, and I can tell you local businesses have been coming to see me talking about, you know, how they can also get involved in diversifying their portfolios. We've seen the growth of various businesses. Helene, we've invested in research and development there in the new clean green tech economy, and so we're going to continue to do that.
That's a very brilliant move, because that improves it for everybody. If everybody diversified a little bit, then it would make it better for the entire community.
I agree with that, and that's well said. You know, what we want to do is make sure that we have a number of projects, businesses that are, you know, employing people, working towards the betterment. And Andy, we've invested in 4.5 years, $250 million, which is historic, record-breaking federally for the Sioux.
In our remaining moments, can I get a quick answer, Terry, of was there anything in the last 4 years in Ottawa that you couldn't achieve that you would have liked to achieve?
I think that, no, I think we're working well towards where we want to be. We have the new ferrochrome processing facility where Sault Ste. Marie has been chosen as a partner, you know, and that took a lot of work to get us to where we are. But that just means over the next 4.5 years, you know, I'm going to use my experience, my energy to work on that project. It's 1,500 construction jobs and 500 permanent jobs. There has to be a robust environmental assessment, both federally and provincially, consultation with First Nations, working with the community at large, working with mayor and council and my provincial counterparts. So we need to keep moving forward, and that's my commitment to the people to do that.
Great, Terry, thanks very much. We'll see you again a week before the election, and best of luck knocking on doors. We'll see you again real soon. Thanks for doing this.
Thank you very much, Andy.
All right, that's the Liberal candidate, Terry Sheehan. He'll be back again before the election, and we'll be back to wrap up the show right after these messages.
Ford is a family-owned dealership that's been around with the Ford franchise since 1984.
What I love of my Ford, I love the technology. I love the way it rides, I love the way the seats hug me, and I love the control I have right at the steering wheel.
When they say that it's a true family atmosphere, it is 100%. They've been in business for close to 50 years.
Employee pricing is back. That means you pay what we pay for a Ford SUV, F-150, Ranger, or Mustang.
You pay what we pay.
Absolutely.
We're back with On Point. I'm Andy Martins. I hope you've enjoyed this blockbuster edition as much as I have. We had the Mayor of Sault Ste. Marie, Christian Provenzano, Liberal candidate Terry Sheehan, and coming up on the next edition of On Point, it'll be the Sault Ste. Marie City Clerk, Rachel Jasinski, her first ONNtv Sioux Online appearance, and that'll be next time on On Point. I'm Andy Martins. Have a great day.